Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Sunday, March 15th, 2020. This is Evan Carthy from evancarthy.com. Today, we're going to look at a couple of cryptocurrencies because they're providing some interesting setups moving forward. The ones we're going to look at are going to be Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. So, starting off with Bitcoin right here, what we have in it is a couple different setups. So, starting from the furthest one, we have an expanded triangle. There's first point, second point, third point, fourth point up here. Now, I'm looking for it to come down and eventually break this low right here of 3140, and that will create the fifth point for the setup for Bitcoin. And when that does happen, I will be looking at buying Bitcoin. Now, this will not be based off of any other setup. It's just based off of the fact that it's breaking this low, creating the fifth point. So I'll start a position in it because this is going to be more of a long-term type of trade, because I don't think Bitcoin is going to go out or going to go away anytime soon, if ever. And so I think this provides a great buying opportunity. Right now, you can see it's currently at 53.30, the little red thing right there. But I'm looking for it to go lower to break this low down here under $3,060. When it does that, I will be looking at buying Bitcoin. Now, we do have a long setup right here as well. So the second one moving off to it, and usually when I trade, I give more credence, I don't know the correct word, but I give a greater weight to the second setup that forms. So now we do have a long setup right here. So 1, 2, 3. It hit the fourth point when it broke this low right here. So there's the fourth point right there, and it keeps on going down lower. So it is currently in one. Now, normally I do that, like I just said a second ago, is give more weight to when the second setup forms. And say I was shorting it right now, normally I would have been out of it already. Now, I'm not in it at all anyways, but I'm just telling you how my thought process. So after a second setup forms going the opposite way, I'll get out of that first trade. Because what I've seen a lot of times is when the second setup does form, after the first setup hasn't been completed, the second one seems to win out. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So then using this low all the way down here, drag it up right there. You can see that's how I got the 78.6 and 88.6 box. You can see how price went down all the way. 88.6 has made a nice little hammer candle if you're into that sort of stuff, and has bounced off of it. So it's just an interesting place to go. I mean, you could start position right here and then just continue buying it, but the way this setup works is if price breaks below the 100% level right here, which is around 30.85, 30.60ish over there, then what will happen is the setup will be invalid and won't be or valid anymore. So that's why I'm not taking it, because I do expect this to go down, create the fifth point for it, and then eventually to come back up again. So I guess to be super safe, to make sure you don't miss a move, I could start getting in right here, and then if it does break lower, just continue to get in right here, because this would be more a long-term hold. But anyway, that's what's going on with Bitcoin. I do expect it to come down and break this level right here, around 30.60 or so. If it does that, this long trade would be null and void for it, and it just become a naked trade getting into it right here. But again, you do have this long setup right here, so you definitely could go up there and make a new high. So if this long setup is valid, then the target we're looking for is this box right up here. That's the 1.272 Fibonacci extension level at about 17,120 for that one right there. Now on to Litecoin, because we got a couple things going on with it right now. And these are all using the daily charts. So obviously there's gonna be more longer term trades, but there's a couple steps we need to talk about in here. So starting off with this one over here, there's first point, second point, third point, and now coming all the way down here, it's created the fourth point. Let me draw the Fibonacci levels on it. So there you go. It bounced off the 88.6, rose up some, but then came on back down. Now, it still hasn't broken this low down here, around $22.45. You can see it came close, but it has not done that yet. So this trade setup is valid. But let me show you another setup which may invalidate it, or it may eventually break it. So using this run right here, let me delete these lines right here, make it see a little better. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4 points, And now what it did come down though, it did come down and create a 5th point and completed this expanding triangle setup. Did not come down and hit the target so far. Now it doesn't necessarily have to come down and hit that target, because it did come down and complete that 5th point for it. So guys, you can see it's been quite a move for it in using that one right there, that one right there. It hit the 61.8, didn't hit the 70.6 box that I looked to trade off of, but it's all right, perfectly valid trade for it. So it came down and broke this low. So that 5th point has been completed to it. And like I said just a little bit ago, I give more credits to the second setup that forms if one has already happened for it. But it has been completed, so it is an interesting situation for Litecoin. So if you are bullish on Litecoin, it could be a good level to looking at buying it. Just put your stop under here around the 22.11 level, something like that. I probably have around $20 or something like that. It's currently up here at about 36.05, but if this setup is going to go up and work, then the exit we're looking for is up here. There's a 1.272 box, around $178 for it. Now with all that said, there is, if you really want to get crazy, there's a really interesting expanding triangle setup. 1st point, 2nd point, 3rd point, 4th point right here, using this swing low down here, that high right there. You can see how price come down, hit the 88.6, waffled back between that 78.6, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if this is to be a valid long setup for it, the stop would be right under here, you know, close to about $0 or so for it. And if it is going to complete, at minimum the 5th point up here would be breaking this high, it'll look about $370, and then the target exit we have for it is about $470 for it. So that is Litecoin. Then Ethereum is in a very similar spot as Litecoin. So what we have here, we have a couple of shorter term daily trades and a super long term one, similar to Ethereum. So what we have right here, 1st point, 2nd point, 3rd point, all the way down here. 4th point came up but never broke this high, so still 4 points still valid, so still going lower down there. If you use this pivot low for it right here, there you can see the box I drew right there. Has found support for it right there. If it is going to be a true long setup, then obviously breaking the 5th point would be about $366. And then the 1.272 extension level is $434. And then the next setup that formed within that one that's still live is this short setup right here. 1st point, 2nd point, 3rd point, 4th point, 5th point. So similar to Ethereum, this has already gone down and created the 5th point for it. Hasn't reached the 1.272 level, but has created the 5th point. So this could be an interesting long setup right there, assuming this doesn't come down and get hit right here. If it doesn't, then definitely looking for the long trade, looking to break this high up here, 365-ish, 366, and then target for that long is around $436 for it. Then, just like Ethereum, we do have that crazy long setup as well. Let's scroll down a little bit more. So here's 1st point, 2nd point, 3rd point, came down, broke that low. There's the 5th point right, or excuse me, 4th point right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Using this swing low way down over there. There's a swing high for it. So came down, hit 70.6, bounced up a little bit. Now it's just been waffling around in it. Here is the low, that blue line. It's just barely above $0 right there. So, you know, if you're bullish long-term Ethereum and Litecoin, and if this setup is going to hold, then you are looking for the this pivot to break right here, which would be the swing point, which would be 0.5 of that expanding triangle setup, which would be about $1,600 ish, something like that. But then the 1.272 extension level exit is going to be about $2,025. So at least all 3 of these cryptocurrencies are showing an interesting, very bullish setup for it. If it does get some more short-term downside for it, especially Ethereum and Litecoin, then look for these levels to get hit down here, which would be about $60 in Ethereum, and then in Litecoin we are looking at around $17. But then Bitcoin, for instance, if you are bullish on Bitcoin and want to buy this current sell-off for right here, it is in a long setup, but that 5th point in this setup has not been hit yet. mean breaking that low right there of around 31.30. So even if this setup doesn't hold, it comes down and breaks it, that's what I'm definitely looking to get in around the low $3,000 level. But may even start nibbling right now, because if this setup does hold, then you're looking at minimum around 1430-ish for that one, and then but then the target exit is around $17,000 for it. So that's the cryptocurrency review, some interesting setups. Take care, talk to you later, bye.